What is going on out there today, guys? It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Hope you have a great start to today. Oh, wow. Looks like it's going to be another stunner here in the California desert today. Got some 9 a.m. doubles on the grass, men's doubles. Looking forward to that. And yeah, so look, today what I've got for you guys is we're to talk about, those times when you get out there and just nothing's going right. Nothing is going right. And sometimes that's a combination of you just not executing, or maybe that opponent over there or those guys or gals over there in doubles are just playing out of their minds. Maybe they're hitting a few lucky shots now and then, right? But whatever it is, you can quickly spiral down into this place where there's no way that you're giving yourself a chance to be able to kind of reverse the trend and actually start to play okay. Before we get into that, a couple things is number one is look, I've got some free courses for you over at webtennis.com. If you're not a free member of Web Tennis, you can go over to webtennis.com. Just drop in a first name, email address, and you'll get access to how to create your own membership over there. And then you'll get access to those complimentary courses. Hey, Rich, good morning, Mr. Alameda, man. What's going on? And look, guys, if you're really into becoming a better player wherever you are, and it doesn't mean that you've got to go win a gold ball, but maybe you just want to, shore up some part of your game, get a little bit better. Could be technique, could be tactics, it could be mental part of the game, it could be physical. Then if you're over at YouTube, hit that subscribe button so that you're notified every time I upload new content to the Web Tennis channel. Could be recorded videos, or like this, it could be a live video. And then look, if you really like working on the mental stuff, you feel like that might be kind of an important part of the game, then hit that like button wherever you are, Facebook or YouTube, so I know to produce more content in this category, the mental part of the game. What else? Look, and if you're really into fitness, and you want to know what I do in terms of diet and what I supplement with my diet and my fitness routine in terms of tennis-specific fitness, just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. More than happy to let you know what I do in that category. So, guys, let's talk about this when nothing's going right. And first of all, before we get into it, I want to mention that yesterday afternoon, my wife, Maya, and I had a mixed doubles match scheduled here at the Mission Hills Country Club. And I think we were scheduled for 1 o'clock, and literally at about 12:45, the wind picked up and it was howling. It was insane. And look, this time of year, spring is we're kind of in between seasons, right? And the weather here gets a little goofy, but wind is what we get. And so yesterday it just started blowing and it really got up there. I don't know what the MPH was, but it was severe. And there was almost that one thought of, I think one of asked, hey, do we really want to do this? And I said, what the heck? Let's just go for it. Let's just try to have some fun with it. So, it's one of those interesting things where it's such a different element that gets added to the game. And I mean, lots of times we have distractions with noises or you got a horn blowing off in the parking lot over there, but the wind completely changes everything. And so for me, I kind of like it because it presents another challenge in terms of, well, how do I figure this out? And how do I not let it bother me? Right. And so I would encourage you guys to not look at distractions, whether they're car horns going off in the parking lot where maybe you're at some league match or you're at a tournament match and you got some idiot over there, a court next to you or a couple courts away, screaming and yelling. Make sure, or like yesterday, a super windy day, do not let that distract you. Absorb it and embrace the challenge of, and everyone says, look, well, how do you play in the wind? I mean, other than if you're going to lob, I mean, you got to know which way the wind's blowing, right? If you're going to lob. I mean, I tried the first game. we were, the wind was to our backs and blowing towards our opponents. And I tried a couple lobs. I thought they were, okay. Darn near hit the back fence over there. So yeah, I mean, that's one area where you gotta be aware of what's going on. But the other thing to realize is that you've got to keep your feet moving, right? It's so easy when it's not windy that you really have an idea where the ball's going to end up in relation to where you are, right? Spacing. On a windy day, not so much. So the feet have got to keep moving in that you don't trust that where you think the ball's going to end up, it's really going to be there. And I would say the other thing too is that especially when the wind is blowing, just like we were, right, is blowing towards your opponents. If you're up at net and doubles and you get a lob, the chances are it's going to be a lot shorter, obviously, right? Got to keep those feet moving. Our opponents yesterday, we put up a couple short lobs, completely whiffed. And these are good players. These are not, I mean, these are very, very good players. So anyway, that's it. That's it for Day in the Wind. Look, let's talk about those days when things aren't going right. All right. And there's lots of ways where things aren't going right. And it could be that you start off the match and on your return, you just can't find the court, or on the serve, you just can't find the rhythm, something. And the next thing you know is you start kind of questioning yourself, right? And you're thinking, well, maybe today's not my day. And it could be that the entire day just does not go your way. Either you don't play like as well as you did maybe yesterday, or the time, the last time you played, and you came out with those expectations going, man, I played great yesterday. I guess we'll just keep going today. And the game of tennis just has a way of kind of kicking you in the butt and saying, well, just because you played A+ stuff yesterday doesn't mean that you're going to do that again today. And I think we get really disappointed sometimes when that happens. And so be careful of your expectations, right? Because the reality of tennis is, first of all, it's not an easy game, right? Very tough. And so the reality is you can play great one day and come out and lay an egg the next day, put up a real stinker the next day. And if you fight that reality, you're going to get super frustrated on those days when you're not playing great. I used to be the worst. I mean, the absolute worst in terms of expectations. And this is when I was learning how to play. And I just assumed that was the deal. When you were learning how to play, that you just were on this steady graph, this improvement, steady line going up on the improvement graph. And that's just not the case. It's all over the map, right? Great book by the great George Leonard, small little book called Mastery, Mastery. I highly encourage you pick up that book because it really beautifully describes the reality of improving and kind of what to do on those times when you're not going up, right? When you're either kind of on the down, or maybe you've just flatlined for a while and you're not doing much. It's by George Leonard. And in fact, I'll type it into the comment section here. Hope this gets to you. George Leonard. Mastery. And yeah. Go. Okay. Misspelled George. Let's go with the George. There you go. So what do you do on those days when things aren't going right? Well, number one is accept the reality that this is reality. Some days it's not going to go great. And yet, if you don't fight it, if you don't try to, and I used to do this where I'd miss a couple of forehands or whatever it was, get frustrated, and then I think, well, maybe I can make up for those 3 or 4 that I missed with one big bomber. And I'd go for the big bomber and miss another one, right? So what I will tell you that's helped me over the years is not to fight it. Number one is to accept it as reality. And if I don't get upset, if I don't get ticked off, there's a chance that the game will come back to me. There's a chance. And for me, that's the only way, rather than trying to go, yesterday we talked about, plan A, plan B. Well, if things aren't going right with your standard plan A, it might be that you're just not executing. And so rather than trying to wholesale yourself over to plan B, the only plan B from there is just is just relax. Just relax and assume that if you do that and you don't fight it, that you're gonna start making some shots. What was the other thing I had that I wanted to mention to you guys about this today? Oh, I know. Here's what I do. Like in a practice match or a practice situation, a practice drill situation. I don't really do this in tournaments so much, but in those other times where I go out there and I'm kind of laying an egg, things aren't going, I'm sloppy. I think, okay, well then today is going to be a fitness opportunity. And what that means is that I've stopped thinking and I've stopped caring about making shots. And today is more about fitness, which means that in between when we got to pick up balls or in between side changes, I'm running, I'm sprinting, I'm doing karaoke steps, I'm doing some lunges, some volley lunges. But I don't want to give up this opportunity to be in the court today to just kind of go down into the dumper and just not make something of it. So there you have it. Look, man, I mean, if you're not playing well today or whenever it is, or maybe you're going through a little, one set, you're just throwing in a stinker, it's reality. It's going to happen and you can't avoid it. And so it's really more, how are you going to deal with it? And the way to deal with it is just, for me anyway, it's been, okay, well, maybe this is one of those days where nothing goes right. And worst case, if that's it, what, does it change my life? No, it's just one of those days, right? And so I just try to go, well, what can I do instead of going down into the dumper? Well, I can turn this into a fitness opportunity. I can do some sprints today. I can do some side to sides. I can do some stuff, and I can just out hustle every one of the balls in the point. Whether or not I win it, I'm just going to work. And for me, it feels like, well, even if I lose that day, or I haven't played well that day, at least I'm doing something positive for my game. So guys, hope that makes sense. Would love to read your comments, and I always have, any of your comments, your questions, remarks, I promise to respond, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, or you want to shoot me an email, that's fine too. Sometimes the email, it might take me one day to get back to you. I do have a lot of communique going on with my email, but that's fine. I love it. I love hearing from you guys. So yeah, would love to read what's on your mind with today's thoughts. And then look, fitness, if you believe that fitness is a thing that would help your game, and I hope you have that thought. If you want to know what I do in terms of diet, and my wife and I changed our diets 3 years ago. We're pretty much plant-based, pretty darn much. We're not 100%. There's a little fish in there now and then, but more than happy to tell you how that's worked and what we do diet-wise. And then also let you know what's going on with how we supplement, which I just feel no matter how well we eat, we still need to add some things to our diet, some supplements, just for better energy, for recovery, for better sleep, to help me reduce inflammation from all the tennis I play and all the workout I do. I do need some extra help. And so I've got some ideas for you. If that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. Brent@webtennis.com. Hey, Rich, hopefully it's going to be a good day at the BTC, the world famous Berkeley Tennis Club, originally founded in 1906. Not in the location it is now, right below the Claremont Hotel. #1 Tunnel Road. Kind of my second home as a kid growing up, played some tennis, mostly baseball. But yeah, Rich, have a great day over there at the BTC. By the way, Rich, you may not know this. My dad was president of the Berkeley Tennis Club in 1955, and then yours truly followed up as a president of the BTC 45 years later in 2000. We might have been the only father-son combo, past presidents. So I've got that going for me. Anyway, we no longer live in Northern California, the Bay Area, but that is a membership I will never, ever drop. Just because that club has meant so much for me. I know when I was over at the California Tennis Club in San Francisco working there, they had this membership that if you'd been a member there for, I think it was 50 years, that they gave you a free membership. And I thought this is a weird deal. I mean, I thought, hey, if I've been a member somewhere for 50 years, then that club, at least for me in tennis, must have been a super important part of my life. It must have given me so much. Why would I think I should get a free membership? So anyway, I totally disagreed with that one. No longer, obviously, working at the Cal Club. So anyway, that's it. That's it, guys. All right, listen, as always, guys, this time, get out there, make it a spectacular day, help someone else. Have a great day. Guys, we will do this again tomorrow. I'll see you then.